Chapter 2! Oof! Always something! The story of Ada goes further back, long before I met her. Wait, we going further back in time? Factions from across the galaxy fought for dominance. The Lumen War raged on with no end in sight. Eventually, the United Mining Corporation approached one of Thousand Peaks' religious factions, the Witching Tower. The previous one was 66 years ago, so... Yeah, the game started with an old man going somewhere. And now we are just looking back. United Mining promised to put an end to the conflict and to ensure the religious legitimacy of the Witching Tower. They signed a contract with the tower and enlisted the help of its witches. Servants of the faith cultivated the ability to commune with spirits. The ability to sense lumen and energy made them indispensable on the battlefield. Once emissaries of God, they were now harbingers of death. Worse yet, as the war came to an end, United Mining grew fearful of the myriad religions rising for influence. Not only did they denounce the Witching Tower, they refused to compensate them for their services as they had promised. It's okay, I don't mind reading. By swaying public opinion to condemn the tower's involvement in the war, they drove the witches out of 1,000 Peaks. Within years, the Witching Tower's influence was all but gone, and the witches were blamed for the war, forcing them to conceal their identity and flee. However, despite their fall from grace, the natural ability to seek out lumen allowed them to remain active in the shadows. In the eyes of cave runners, they were invaluable companions, but to the victims of war, they were nothing more than war machines. Yet, no matter how others saw them, Ada remained my greatest consolation during my years in exile. Six extended hours after escaping the Bones Brigade. Trading post Mayfair. Stay away from the flight deck. Shouldn't even be allowed on a witch's ship. Please accept them, Remy. These people saved me. Ada, I'm very grateful for your help, but I don't need to be accepted. Oh yeah? I want you to take a servant and leave. He's my guardian. Don't you dare speak of him like that. Good lumen, sir. Show some maturity. Alright, that's enough. We're all in this together. We should be fighting. Remy, is communications back online? Not even close. It's completely busted. Usually this wouldn't be an issue, but I don't have any spare parts around. Well, this area we are now was the battleground. Maybe we can find some in the wreckage? Hey, you alright? Hey, you are noble? You want to find a doctor for yourself? Guardian, Remy. Of course. If you help us do some scavenging, I suppose we can find you a doctor. What? Don't take advantage of people's injuries? Hey, people should pay for their stay. I'll listen to her. We'll find you a doctor no matter what. I can help, and I trust that you will uphold your promise. See? Honorable as always. What's wrong? I guess I can stay for a bit. It's not like they're gonna be here for long. June doesn't mind. I can get to work now, but the wreckages here are mostly from the wars, so I'll need exploration kits. Tell him where the kits are, Remy. What I remember most about being on the run was arguing with Remy every day. Now that I've gotten older, I really miss that. Okay, let's explore. Obtain broken communications module. After the war, the airspace in Thousand Peaks was full of unidentifiable electromagnetic waves sent out by communication modules scattered throughout space, making space travel full of unpredictable risks. You find anything? I did. Please give me more time. I saw some other things that might be useful. This is all I could find. Not bad. I'll have the ship fixed in a second. Like we have enough materials to upgrade the ship. Look at what those oceaners did to my precious ship. The connections for the communications module should be around here. System rebooting. Opus 03 Lumen seeking vessel. Assistive AI system rebooted. Greetings, Master Remy. Took you long enough. I have nothing else here. Okay. What else am I gonna do? Bounty 40. Greetings, fellow people of the Bell. May Ignis shed light upon your good deeds. This Bones of the Bones Brigade with a bounty on the following persons: East Ocean Noble June, East Ocean Guardian Kai, suspected Mirror and Witch unknown, suspected Pika Pallid unknown. The group is traveling in a Lumen seeking vessel. Any reports of the location will be rewarded with 40,000 credits, plus 3 shipments of goods smuggled through United Mining. Endless Lumen, light away, and that the Bell may rise again one day. Cave reprimanded me for this endlessly. He would remind me that I had no idea how to keep things low profile. I was always screwing things up with my impulsive decisions. Not the qualities of a leader, he would say. We need help. We're heading in some ruins from the war, but our fuel is running low. Edda, you're in deep trouble. I saw the bounty on you and your friends before I even received your message. I'll see what I can do with the injured man you mentioned. I make no promises of the equipment we have here. The attachments include updated coordinates for Guifang. There's been a lot of gang fights in the area recently, so we changed our orbit as a security measure. Trust that you can find it. Dr. Russell, Lumen Association, head of Guifang branch. Dr. Russell was always nagging us about something, but sometimes I really miss her. Are they all dead? To be fair, they had to upgrade their communications. It's alright, they had to do that. Okay. Let's activate Dr. Russell's coordinates first. Did that one? This is how you went the last time? The spectrum analysis doesn't look right. No big deal, this can be easily analyzed. Neutral territory. Fighting is prohibited. Ships that apply for docking should be prepared to be boarded and present verification. Discharged veterans and former ring liberation mercenaries can waive docking fees. Alright, Jin. Once we reach Guifang, your guardian's injuries will finally get proper treatment. Hey, honey. Hey, you pee-pee? Wanna say hello to the people? Are we not? Saying a bit hello. Are we pee-pee? Yes, we pee. Don't blame us if it doesn't work out, though. I mean, don't. Dr. Russell was a military doctor during the war, but now she helps out at the Lumen Association. She handles everything from mining-related injuries to mining rights applications. She's very reliable. Thank you for helping us. Not at all. My master used to say, a witch must save oneself in order to save others. Eddie, I'm getting unidentified signals from the ship ahead. Looks like bounty hunters. You, the people listed in this bounty, you got nerve for the hell you raised with that treasure ship of yours. Surrender now so we can get this over with, and don't try anything funny. They cracked it, our signal modification didn't work. It failed. Red Chamber's an old ship after all. If you could upgrade the signal modifier, we'd have a better chance. The old signal modifier failed to convince them. They immediately saw through the trick and responded with a barrage of attacks. Although we managed to escape, the Red Chamber took quite a few hits. Damn, is this like pen and paper? I heard this place was established by soldiers who were injured or crippled in a Lumen war. Also where I met a doctor. Do you hear that, the mighty fluff? Honey? You wanna say a proper hello to people? Honey, beautiful. Most of Guishfang's residents were crippled veterans who were abandoned after the war. They set up the foundation hoping to provide a place for those who had nowhere to go. They hated outsiders, especially those looking for Lumen. After all, they are the ones who started the damn war. You from Prosteus Energy or Scrappers? Here are itching to get to work. A shipment of excavation arms here yet, droids. Waste my time, kids. He should have lost away after realizing he mistook us for someone else. After space burials were banned by United Mining, Miriam followers used asteroid craters marked with a carving of Helios instead. Names of the deceased would be carved along the walls of each crater, as the asteroids were considered home to them. You there, young man. This is a place for remembrance. If you have no business here, please be on your way. If you live on credits, we got plenty of work, but please don't disturb the solemnity of this place. Children who lost their family to the war ended up in places like this. Children were often forced into labor, and the place was frequented by human traffickers. There was no warmth to be found here. Remy abhorred the place. Miria and everlasting, my Helios blessing be upon you. You're cave runners, aren't you? Please could you spare us some credits? Ada, we must help these children. Ignore them. Kids like them are everywhere in the peaks. Any credits you give them will just go straight to the bosses. That's okay. As soon as the credits were transferred, the children broke into laughter. Mama said to give this to any runner that helps us. They smiled as one of them handed something to obtain a Presidio charm. Countless runners have something like this hanging on them at all times. They pray to the guardians of asteroid, Presidio, imploring these earth gods to open a path for them so that they may find a cave of riches. Can you just lay down there? Thank you. Members of the association came from all backgrounds. Most were veterans of the war. The amount of Lumen intel in their hands came only second to United Mining. Sorry, I was only able to give him emergency treatment. His injuries are worse than I expected. So, okay, he'll be able to walk, but the hypertravel has caused internal injuries, which needs to be examined further. Unfortunately, there was some gang fights over mining dispute last week, so we're low on medical supplies and procedures. It will take at least a standard week for new supplies to reach this rural station. You can get immediate treatment at Ironwine Central Hospital if you're willing to risk solar flares by flying across the sun. Or you can sit and wait. There isn't much of a choice. Worst case scenario, he ends up with a prosthetic body. Plenty of veterans here aren't able to walk, though I'm sure he can get used to it. I will not do. An ocean warrior being unable to walk is no different from death. This man, Eda. I was speaking to Eda, young man. He and his injured man saved my life. Always getting yourself in trouble. Like your master. You, go out. I need to speak with Eda. I wish to stay beside Kay. Want to save him, leave now. He'll be fine, June. Dr. Russell is a close friend. Where do you got them all, Chris? Isn't it a she? Is it a he? I found it female. So was it your lover? What? Of course not! That's what I thought. Ida, I've told you many times, you need to stop searching for lumen cogs. I'm not here to talk about this, Doctor. If you keep this up, you're going to get you and your crew killed one day. What would your master think of me if I allowed this to happen? Let me join the Lumen Association, Doctor. Give it up, Ada. And give me back Red Chamber's military configurations. Shouldn't even be flying a military vessel. And at least help us. Don't be stubborn like your master, Ada. Take a look at his injuries. Your decision to enter hypertravel has only made them worse. Fine. I'll figure it out myself. Hey. Hey! Goodbye. Alright, fine! There's another option as well. Yes? What is it? Nothing ever changes your mind, does it? Why do you two have to be like this? Hey for my message. I'll send you the details. Stay out of trouble, will you? Not so fast. If you're going to go cave running, I'll at least resupply your ship. Going to pick up some more? I'll charge you 800 for 8 of them. Try to stock up when you can. Okay. Leave. You should at least refuel your ship. Judge for yourselves. Women-seeking vessels have a high fuel capacity, but they're light on armor. Many residents of the asteroid belt are people displaced by United Mining. Even if there wasn't a bounty on you, people aren't going to be too friendly when they see a witch's ship. How do I save them? Don't tell anyone that I did this. Adar, this is your only option. Assuming you can find a cave, I've attached these directions to a nearby lumen cave registered under association. The place produces our rare medical herbs. Since you're rat's pupil, you should be familiar with lumen plants. Find me a handful of Lyra sesame. It's an exceptionally rare plant that can repair cellular damage. Bring it back with the injured man and I'll figure something out. Be clear? I should be giving this out to non-association members, even if you ratted up the daughter. It is sad that during the years they spent searching for a master, the doctor always watched out for them. Doc's the same as always. Assuming you can find the guy. She practically gave us the location. Get ready, Remy. Is your throat alright? Why worry? I have you and the Red Chamber to help me. Can you really locate lumen caves? Just a vague set of directions? Not for normal people, but a witch can. What? You don't like my voice? Too late. So you really are a witch, just like Kay said. You were human raider during the war? Disqualified. Hashtag 103, hashtag 108, 108, hashtag 113. These members will be removed from level 5 as of today, revoking their witch's candidacy. Don't be disheartened. Hashtag 108. Even at level 4, you will still be allowed to engage in the tower's affairs. For 2 years. How she ends up. I thought she was gifted. The grown-ups say it's incurable. Her voice will deteriorate as she gets older, and she is no longer able to sing like us. Shh! She's coming. Should I? She used to act like she was so much smarter than us. Hey, liar! I thought you said you could handle anything. What are you going to do now? You still think you can make it to our level? Hey, be quiet during the ritual. A witch who can't sing. Aww. Silence! There will be no such behavior in the tower. You think you're so smart, but you'll never be a witch. Yes, I would prefer to be called a witch, not a human raider. How do I say? But how do I save? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have insisted on coming to Thousand Peaks. This place is not meant for us. Sir, we're investigating every solar system that allow private ownership of lumen cars. And we're listed to the sound of each of the other systems. Choose Thousand Peaks. But what if I made a mistake? A leader should not easily doubt their own decision. Stars must have a reason for telling you where to go. We East Oceaners are seekers of lumen. Wherever it is, they will be our people. If the Starsong of 1,000 Peaks is the one you cannot forget, and this is where your fatal lumen lies. Find the lumen, young master. Bring prosperity to the clan. At the beginning of our 1,000 Peaks adventure, he and I had no choice but to run around scavenging whatever we could. He would go on about this history of the lumen, where how 1,000 Peaks was torn apart by several fractions. The hard luminite ore found in the depths of caves varies so much in purity and sound frequency it produces. It's difficult to use as industrial fuel. Instead, since lumen is worshipped by the people, it wants to be used for artistic or ceremonial purposes. Yeah, but wasn't that the place I was supposed to go? We should be close. Entering an identification on passcode. Permissions verified. BBC Opus 03. Hey, it's the name of the game! Lumen seeking vessel. Bioamplification scanner activated. Synchronization subject. Idaloon. Vocal tuning complete. Initiating Lumen radio scanner. Activating Lumen resource scanner. Suspected Starsong identified. Commencing. I'm too slow. Sing softly. Find a Starsong that resonates with my voice. Starsong. Recording Starsong. Although Ella said her throat was damaged, and that she struggled with certain vocal techniques, the Starsong was unlike the one I recorded when we first met. It was grandiose and bright, as if she was conjuring myths through an ancient hymn. Which is Starsong allows is complete, setting navigation to origin of Starsong. This cave was discovered by the Rodin family in 8529 of the Galactic Calendar, currently supervised by the Lumen Association, restricted to mining and marine civilization research. This is it! This is the place! We made it. Shouldn't you be happy, Noble? Ah, thank you. Now it's your turn. I'm no good at cave running. Take this with you. What is this? A voice? I'm an East Ocean runner. We have our own way of producing sounds. I heard you use Daddy's voice to escape the prison. I was different! Just take it as a backup, for the sake of your companion. And take this as well. You aren't familiar with lumen plants, are you? Things like Lira sesame and such. Echo Scanner will help you identify plants that grow in the cave. I hope Kay gets treated soon. Thank you for all of this. Not at all. I'm already familiar with these plants, and the ship has more than enough storage space. If you bring back any extra plants, we can sell them for a decent price. So, sure. Ada's knowledge of lumen plants first suppressed my imagination. Once she even asked me to take the echo scanner and test her. Could identify hundreds of plants, but she'd say, that's basic witch knowledge. All the caves I've encountered, perhaps this one is the hardest to forget.